guys, so I'm here today to do a foundation rewind video for you, although this is a new foundation to me. This is the Motives, it says Lauren Ridinger Custom Blend Foundation. So this literally foundation is named Darla. It was created on July 24th, 2018. It's actually my first time wearing it in September. I'm the worst. But this is a foundation that was custom colored, custom created for me, and so I thought it was really cool, and I wanted to do a video on it, and I wanted to do a wear test for you guys. So what happened was a girl DM'd me. Let me pull up the DMs because that just feels easier. So a girl named Christine DM'd me and she said, hey, I love your features. Would you be interested in getting your foundation color matched? I'm building my portfolio for my custom blend project and I'm in search of people with different undertones. It should only take 30 minutes. So we arranged a date, met at a mall near me, did the whole situation. It was actually really cool. I'll try to insert some pictures from her if I can find them of what the system looks like. Basically, she custom built the foundation for you in front of you. Like I showed up with makeup on, she took my makeup off. She asked me what my skin type was. You fill a little questionnaire that talks about what kind of coverage you want, what other additives you want, and then she custom creates it. You know, my base was obviously ivory, and then she added, you know, you can add more of this full coverage cream. You can add, I think she added a little bit of purple or red to mine to kind of make it more neutral toned. And then she added more coverage, and then she added pearl, which is illuminating properties because you know your girl wanted it illuminating. And then in the end, we also added one vial drop of hydrating ingredients and one of anti-aging ingredients because like I'm turning 30 this week and your girl needs some anti-aging in her life. So I basically explained to her exactly what I wanted and she created me a custom foundation. I know how hard it is to find a foundation that matches my skin tone, which is why I thought this was so cool. She was actually surprised at how hard it is for me to find a foundation shade. This is my LA Girl Pro Coverage White Foundation Mixer that I have to mix with tons of foundations because I know that it's, like, it should not be this hard for me to find foundations. I'm a white girl. And not to say that brands should only be tailoring foundations to me, I'm just saying that I'm the person that they generally make foundation for. They're usually excluding darker skin tones, but I do find that a lot of brands exclude darker skin tones and lighter skin tones. I can make it work usually, but I do find that a lot of brands start out at like beige, and I am super fair toned. I also have a problem because a lot of the lightest foundation shades are very yellow toned and they don't bring in a pink tone until like later in the line. Like with the Fenty Beauty foundation, I can't wear any of those because the lightest ones are all yellow undertones, but there's no pink undertones. So I found a really hard time finding foundations. This foundation is pretty neutral undertoned. I am going to swatch it for you. You don't get a pump, which sucks, but 'tis life. So this foundation is White AF, which I'm so here for, and I want to swatch it next to a few other foundations that work for me. So first I'm going to take the NARS Radiant foundation in Mont Blanc, which I like because it's pink toned. And as you can see, here's Mont Blanc, and here is my custom foundation shade. You can see it's more neutral toned and it's lighter. Mont Blanc is a little dark for me, but the lightest shade in the NARS foundations are yellow toned, whereas this is the first pink undertone shade. So this is my problem I have. So I was really excited to get my foundation custom matched. So I met this girl, she custom matched my foundation. And here's my thing, reading the DMs, I knew this girl wanted to sell me a foundation, but I do think that her approach was a little bit shady, like to approach me, say, hey, meet me to look at foundations, I'm building my portfolio, sounds like I'm doing her a favor. And then when it was all said and done, she was like, okay, so the foundation's normally whatever amount, but you can pay $65, $85 for this foundation, which is a steep price for a foundation, I will not lie to you. I feel like my NARS foundation was $50. I just bought the Natasha Denona foundation and it was $56, I think. So $65 is a lot of money, but at the same time, you are getting a custom blend. She put it on my face. She showed it to me in the mirror to approve it. And it was cool because like she put it all in like a little mixing beaker. I got to help mix my foundation. I got to name my foundation. I named it Darla because she's my cat that died just in April. So I figured I'd name this foundation after her because she's my babe. And I'm pretty sure she also kept a record of my foundation, so I could probably reorder it from her if I wanted to. I think it's a really cool concept. I do think that it's a little bit shady of her to like just DM people and say I'm building my portfolio and then not tell you how much it's going to cost until she's put the foundation on your face and then asks if you want it. I mean, I'm a smart enough person to understand that this was going to cost me money and I went there expecting to spend money for it, but there are people that aren't like that, and there are people that like maybe wouldn't want to commit to that, but then once you're there, it's hard for you to say no in person, like you're just not the kind of person. So I thought it was a little bit shady, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I also think it's a super cool idea. Motives, I believe, is a Canadian brand. They have stores in Toronto I've seen before. I will link her Instagram below if you want to check out. If you look at like her highlights on her Instagram story, she shows how she mixes the foundations, and like it was cool. Can I say cool one more time? I know how hard it is for a lot of people to find the right foundation shade. If you aren't in that medium, if you aren't in like that light medium to like medium dark, not even medium dark, but like if you're not in that medium range, it's so hard to find a foundation. Like I have friends who have medium skin tones and they're like, oh, I could use like any of these four. Usually I can just go in and grab any of like the four middle shades and like they'll all work for me. Whereas me, I don't have that easy of a time finding a foundation, so I was really excited to try this out. So I'm going to insert a clip now of me applying the foundation. I will be using my Beauty Blender, of course, and then we will wrap this up. Okay, so I've already primed my skin with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. I just didn't want to use anything that would affect the texture or the appearance of the foundation, especially because my favorite is the Becca Glowing one, which would definitely affect it. So this is what the bottle looks like. You don't get a pump, which I just realized. And this is a swatch of it. She's pasty white. She's also, I wouldn't call her neutral, or I wouldn't call her warm or cool toned. It's very neutral toned. I'm just gonna take it on my finger and kind of dot it around my face. I will say, for the price, I kind of wish you got a pump. So there she is on the face. I'm just using my Beauty Blender to blend her out because that is how I blend out every foundation ever. Could you imagine if I hated this? How sad would that be? It does feel like almost a sticker formula. I did ask her to make it full coverage, and the full coverage stuff she added did look thicker, so that might be why. So I do find that it's a little bit hard, I don't want to say hard to spread out, but a little bit harder than a more liquidy foundation. So that's one layer. Let me take a look up close. It does look like almost nothing on my skin, but I would not call this full coverage. I would call this like a light medium coverage. So I am going to take some more foundation and do a second layer, which is something I almost always do anyways. Always around my jawline and then forehead. I just feel like I didn't put enough on my forehead, so that could be part of the problem. Let's give her. It is building nicely. Like, as you can see, that's definitely more coverage than this side. I just think when you're dealing with their foundation, I don't think they have a super full coverage option. Like, she wanted me to get light coverage, and I said, hell to the no. Part of me feels like it looks too light on me, but I also think that that might just be because I'm so used to my foundations not matching me. Yeah, like when I look at myself in person, it looks like it matches me literally fine, but on camera it does look a little bit pale, but again, I think I'm just used to nothing working for me. So as you can see, it has a really nice glow to it. It's providing decent coverage. Again, I wouldn't call this full coverage. I would call this a medium buildable foundation now that I have 2 layers on. But like, it looks nice. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. So as you can see, you can still see all of my freckles. It's super glowy, which I love. But I do kind of wish it had more coverage. I'm not gonna lie to you. It definitely feels tacky to touch. I am gonna try to put more foundation on like my jawline. Yeah, it definitely feels like a thicker consistency of foundation. Also, I did with my beauty blender about an hour ago, and then I realized my battery was full, so I'm thinking that might have something to do with it, but it's still very damp, and I honestly don't think that it should affect anything. So that is what my foundation looks like. Now I'm going to just go ahead and finish the rest of my face. Right now it is 12:58, 1 p.m. Again, I tried to film this about an hour and a half ago, but it did not work. So, because my camera was dead. So I'm gonna finish my face and I will be back to finish up this review. So this is what my foundation looks like all complete. I have my whole face on, blush, bronzer. I did powder with the MAC Mineral Skin Finish Natural in Light Plus. It does, I will say, feel a little bit heavy on the face. Again, that's probably because I added the full coverage ingredients to my mix, which was like kind of a thicker cream consistency. So it did make this a thicker consistency, and it does feel a little bit makeup-y on my face. I have no problem with that. I wear makeup-y foundations all the time, so it's not a concern for me, but just something to put out there. And I do feel like once I have my whole face on, I'm feeling pretty full coverage, I'm not gonna lie. It was still tacky after I did my eyebrows and under eyes, so I did set it, but she's not bad. I'm gonna zoom you in. You can still see my freckles, but it's done a good job of covering up my discoloration. Like, you can't really see my redness. Same thing on my chin, and like, look at the glow. Okay, this glow is fake, but like, I didn't put any highlighter on my chin. Or like my cheeks, just my cheekbones. And again, like, the coverage is nice. It doesn't look cakey or foundation-y. It does feel like that on the skin a bit, but I will say it is settling slightly into my fine lines, which happens for me. Like, this never doesn't happen for me. Honestly, when I was getting it done, she was excited that I wanted glowy foundation because, like, no one wants glowy foundation anymore. Everyone is a mad-ass bitch. So I love the glow. I like the way it looks right now. I'll be interested to see how it lasts. Right now it's 1:27. I'm gonna call the check-in time 1:15 just because I finished putting my foundation on at 1 o'clock, and it probably took me about 15 minutes once to like set my face and stuff because my eyes were already done. So we're gonna call it that. I'll probably only be able to do about an 8-hour wear time today instead of a 10-hour wear time just because I started so late and I'm an old lady, I want to go to bed. So yeah, this is what the foundation looks like. I actually, when I was first applying it, I was a little hesitant. You'll see in the as you saw in the try on, but now that it's on and fully set, it looks so beautiful. It matches my skin tone, which is so weird for me. And I really like how I can still see my freckles, but like my discoloration is covered up. I believe this is a water-based foundation, and I'm just pretty excited about it. So again, it's 1:30 right now. We'll call the check-in time 1:15, so I'll be back in about 4 hours to do my first check-in, and then again later at night. Okay, so it is 5:30 right now. My phone is in the other room. Like, let me live my life. So this has been on for 4 hours. And I mean, it looks pretty much the same. I have a lot of wear around my nose and upper lip because I'm a little bit sick, and like, also I ate half a bag of hot Cheetos and had to blow my nose because yes, I'm that white, and when I eat hot Cheetos, I blow my nose. Don't judge me. But like, other than that, I think it looks fine everywhere else, which is what I expect from a foundation because it's only been 4 hours. Like, it should still look pretty flawless. It is settling in the line in my chin here, and it's further settled into my forehead lines, but I think, like, other than those lines, like, my forehead still looks good, my nose looks good, my cheeks look good, everything looks good. Let me give you a zoom in just so we can check her out. So as you can see, it's kind of settled in here, but like, everywhere else looks the same. My upper lip is kind of gone. I'm snotty, sorry. So my forehead looks like, but like, everything else looks pretty good. All my blush, bronzer, highlighter is still intact, which is a good sign. It feels less tacky now that I've had it on for longer, but like, still a little bit tacky. So yeah, that is my 4-hour check-in. I'll be back in around the end of the night to do a final check-in to see how this baby wears for the rest of the day. But like, so far so good. I'm kind of into it. All right, so it is 10 to 10 at night. So this has been on for about 9 hours, and I'm an old lady and I'm tired. So this is your last check-in of the night. Overall, I think the foundation still looks great. It's completely worn off my upper, basically around my mouth is worn off. I ate tacos for dinner, and my nose because I've been blowing my nose. But other than that, like, it looks fine. My forehead is still nice and glowy. I mean, it still has my fine lines, but that's fine. Cheeks look fine. All of my powder, contour, highlight, everything is, I mean, I guess it's a little bit faded, to be honest, but I don't, it's been 9 hours. But other than that, everything looks fine. My chin is a little bit faded as well, but that also could be because I had tacos for dinner. And like, also, like, I'm a touch my face kind of girl. Like, you know, people that like don't touch their face. I'm not that person. So let me give you one final zoom. So as you can see, it has worn off a bit from my chin, but it's not too bad. Upper lip is literally gone. Cheek, again, like, you can see my freckles, but not really anything else. Why is my camera having such a hard time focusing? Same with this side. I actually think my forehead looks nice. It's a little cakey in between my brows, which is totally normal for me, but other than that, I don't think it looks bad. All in all, I think this foundation is pretty cool. I think the idea of it is fantastic. I think if you have a hard time finding your foundation shade, this is a great idea you could do. They have it for all skin tones, all skin types. They add hydrating. They can add anti-aging stuff. They can add glow. They can make it more matte. Like, it's very customizable, which I think is a fantastic idea. I think it's a little pricey, but it's kind of a cool experience, and I personally like the way mine turned out. So I guess it kind of could depend on what you got in yours and how it worked, but I made her make mine full coverage, added hydrating ingredients, added anti-aging ingredients, made it the color I wanted, and made it glowy AF. So yeah, this is my Motives foundation. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know down below what you guys think about this, if you think it's too pricey, if it's something you'd consider doing, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.